Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. So, students, in the previous session, we discussed about our judicial system of India as well as the independent judiciary. Today, we are going to discuss about the structure of courts in India. So, children, India's judicial system is like a pyramid with the Supreme Court at the top, followed by the High Court and the lower court at the base or at the lowest level. Or we can say that Indian judicial system consists of three different levels: Supreme Court, High Court, and the lower courts. Let's discuss about three of them. So the very first one we'll discuss today, children, is the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court is located in New Delhi, in the capital city of India. It is the highest court in India, and that is why it is also known as the apex court. Now, according to the Indian Constitution, children, the Supreme Court is the guardian of the Constitution. All courts of India function under the direction and control of the Supreme Court of India. If a citizen is not satisfied with the judgment of a lower court, he or she can appeal the higher court. Discussing about the second level, that is the High Court. Each state has a high court, which is the highest court of the state. Sometimes one or more states can be placed under one court depending upon the population and size of the area. For example, the states of Punjab and Haryana are placed under one high court. Now, like the Supreme Court of India, children, the High Court of a state also consists of the Chief Justice and the other judges. Talking about the third level or the lowest level, subordinate courts, a state is divided into smaller administrative divisions called districts, and the courts in each districts are subordinate to the high court of their state. Now, what do you think, children? Are these three different levels of court that we have discussed just now, they are connected to each other or not? What do you people think? Definitely yes, children. In India, we have an integrated judicial system, which means that the decisions made by the higher courts are binding on the lower courts. Another way to understand this integration is through the appellate system that exists in India. Now, you all may be wondering, what is this new system? What is the appellate system? So, children, this means that a person can appeal to the High Court if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just. Let's understand this system with the help of an example, with the help of a story. Now, children, this is a case from 1985, which was between the Delhi administration and Lakshman Kumar. So, in February 1980, Lakshman Kumar married a 20 years old girl whose name was Sudha. They used to live in a flat in Delhi with Lakshman's brother and their families. On 2nd of December in 1980 only, Sudha died in the hospital due to burns. Now, on the death of their daughter, Sudha's family, they filed a case in the court. When this case was heard in the trial court, 4 of her neighbors were called in as the witness. The witnesses, they told that on the night of 1st of December, they all heard Sudha screaming and they went into Lakshman's flat. There they saw that Sudha was standing with her sari in flames. They extinguished the fire by wrapping Sudha in a gunny bag and a blanket. Sudha told them that her mother-in-law Shakuntala has poured kerosene oil on her and that her husband Lakshman had lit the fire. Now, during the trial, the members of Sudha's family and the neighbors also stated that she has been subjected to torture by her in-laws and they were demanding more cash, a scooter and a fridge on the birth of the first child. Now, as the part of their defense, Lakshman and his mother stated that Sudha's sari has accidentally caught fire while she was heating the milk. Now, the trial court judge, he heard the things which were presented by both the parties. He heard the situation from both the sides and he took a decision on the basis of their things and the evidences. The trial court, They convicted Lakshman, his mother Shakuntala, and his brother-in-law Subhash Chandra and sentenced all three of them to death. They were proven guilty by the court and they were given the death punishment. Now, in November 1983, 3 years after the incident, these three people, Lakshman, his mother, and his brother, they were not satisfied by the verdict which was given by the trial court. So, they all filed the case in the High Court. Now, the High Court, after listening all the arguments of all the lawyers, decided that Sudha had died due to an accidental fire which was caused by the kerosene stove. Lakshman, Shakuntala and Subhash Chandra were acquitted. They were proven innocent and they were bailed on the basis of the decision of the High Court. Now you see, there was a vast difference between the decisions of both these two courts. Now children, you may remember in class 7th we have studied about the women groups who used to deal with the matters of these dowry deaths. They used to protest against the failures of the courts that could fail to bring justice to these women who used to die due to the dowry problems. Now these women groups, they were deeply troubled by this decision which was taken by the High Court, and they held a lot of demonstrations, and at the end they filed a case against the High Court in the Supreme Court under the Indian Federation of Women Lawyers. Now children, in 1985 the Supreme Court, they heard the appeal against all the three persons, and the Supreme Court, they decided the decision which was given by Supreme Court was completely different from that of the High Court. They found Lakshman and his mother guilty, but they acquitted his brother-in-law Subhash Chandra because they did not have enough evidences against him. The Supreme Court decided to send the accused Lakshman and his mother to the prison for life. So this is what I was trying to explain you. This is what appellate system is, children. If you are not satisfied by the decision of the lowest level, you have the right to go to the higher levels to seek justice. So this is what the Indian judicial system has. This is what appellate system is. Next, let's discuss about the different branches of the legal system. Many of you may be aware that the Indian judicial system, it consists of two different branches, criminal and civil. That is the criminal cases and the civil cases. Let's see what are these. So children, the criminal cases are the cases which deals with the conduct or acts that law defines as offences. For example, theft, harassing a woman, dowry, murder, etc. All these things comes under the criminal cases, and these cases usually begin by filing an FIR with the police, who will further investigate the case. And in the cases of criminal cases, children, if the person accused is found guilty, he can be sent to the jail and he can also be asked to pay a fine. But civil cases are somewhat different from this. Civil cases, they deal with any harm or injury to the rights of the individual. Civil cases mein those cases are included in which any person's rights are harmed. For example, disputes relating to land, purchase of goods, rent matters, divorce cases, etc. In this, we have to file a petition in the nearby court, and in this matters no jail or fine like something is there. In this cases, if the accused is found guilty, the court, they give the specific relief that a person is asking for. For example, अगर एक landlord और tenant का केस लें तो court can ask or court can give the order to the tenant to vacate the house and pay the pending rent to the landlord. So these are the two types of different cases that prevail in the Indian judicial system. Now, a very important question which I want to ask from you people, what reviews do you people have? Now, what do you think that in India, हमने पूरे जुडिशियल सिस्टम के बारे में पढ़ा. नो डाउट the judicial system of India is very nice. It is very well planned and goes very fairly, impartially and independently. But my question is, does everyone have access to courts? क्या इंडिया के अंदर everybody who is having a problem can go to the court, or there are some restrictions over it? So let's find out the answer to this question as well. So children, undoubtedly all the citizens of India can access the courts in this country. This implies that every citizen has the right to justice through the courts. Now, as you have read earlier, the courts play a very significant role in protecting our fundamental rights. So if any citizen of the country believes that their rights are being violated, they can freely approach the courts for justice to be done. Now children, while courts are available for all, but in reality, the access to courts have always been difficult for the poor people. The legal procedure, it involves a lot of money and paperwork as well as a lot of time, which cannot be afforded by the poor people of the country. So to overcome this problem, in response to this, the Supreme Court in the early 1980s, they devised a mechanism of public interest litigation, or PIL, just to increase the access to justice. Under this, children, it allowed any individual or organization to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on the behalf of those whose rights were being violated. Anybody can file the PIL on the behalf of the affected party, and a single letter, a simple letter or a telegram which has been addressed to Supreme Court or High Court could be treated as the PIL. And in the early years, PIL was used to secure justice on large number of issues such as rescuing bonded laborers, securing the release of prisoners in Bihar, and so many different cases. And did you know, children, the midday meal that we study, the midday meal that now children receive in government schools is also because of PIL. Now let's see how it happened. So children, under the Article 21 of the Constitution on right to life, it includes right to food. So under this article, the Supreme Court, it ordered all the states to take certain steps to provide food to all the people of their particular area, which included one of which was midday meal scheme. Then children, the another issue that affects the common person's access to justice is inordinately long number of years that courts take to hear a case. This is the thing that we hear every time, that the Indian judiciary, they take a long years for hearing a single case. So the phrase justice delayed is justice denied is often used to characterize this extended period that Indian courts take. However, in spite of this, children, there is no denying, we cannot deny that the judiciary play a very crucial role in democratic India, serving as a check on the powers of executive and legislatures, as well as in protecting the fundamental rights of the citizens. The judiciary of our country has played a very important role. The members of the Constituent Assembly has quite correctively envisioned a system of courts with an independent judiciary as a key feature of our democracy.